Planning and information session is now called to order. At this time, we look to our city manager to call for our invocation. It's for me to preach.
Yes.
Well, I'm coming now. Thank you. As you're standing, I'm on my way down to the Lord. Oh, praise Him. Praise the Lord. Let's bow our heads. Father, we bless you and we thank you now for this day, this opportunity to come before your presence. We ask, Father, that you will guide us and guard us, govern us as we go forward. We ask that you will bless each person that is present today. Touch our commission. Bless them in all ways possible. Touch their families. We pray now for those who are on staff and working here in the city of Waycross. Thank you for our city manager, city attorneys, city clerk. And Father, we just praise you and we thank you for those who are here tonight. Pray that you bless their homes and keep them safe from harm and danger. We know that your word tells us that we are to always look to you. And what we do when we look to you for guidance. And so, Father, we look to you for guidance tonight. Let your name get the glory. Let your name get the honor. Let your name get the praise. It is in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior and our Lord, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Let us look to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We appreciate the mayor for giving us the pledge and also the invocation. At this time, we look to our city's clerk to find out if we have anyone as a guest.
Yes, sir. We have Mr. David White. He is here. Mr. White is going to speak on road. Mr. White, if you would, please, sir, of course, state your name and address.
My name is David White Jr. I live on 1419 Marion Street. I just want to say, in Gallatin, we still see the children running across the street, and we see some of the older people can't get across. I just want to mention that, and I know I'm quite sure Ms. Silver is doing the best she can over there. And I also know the city manager is doing real well on that. Hopefully we will get that as quick as possible. But I know he's working on it. Thank God for that. Another thing I want to say on Corley and Blackwell, they have slowed down some. And I see the see the police has really stopped quite a few people in that area. So I think that slowed it down some. And I also want to, we got election coming up. Everybody, read the ones in which you want to vote for. That way you'll know exactly who you're getting. Because nowadays, if you don't read, you get somebody. So read on the people in which you want to vote for. I thank you for this space.
Thank you, Mr. White. And do we have another? And just as a reminder, I do know that we had a little political statement at the end there. We are not to do that in any of our spaces, so we understand. But I wanted to make sure that since you did not campaign or you didn't promote any particular person or thing, because that's one of the reasons why we have that written in our decorum. Of course, it's not read on this night, which I think it should be. We actually have opportunities to be reminded of it regularly, but on this night, I'm appreciative that Mr. White did comment on roads and structures and those kinds of things. And so we do appreciate you, and we're glad that you come and that you speak to us. At this time, I now turn the remainder of our docket over to our city manager, who will take us further.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We do have travel and training scheduled. The Community Improvement Director, Mr. Hawkins, is actually going down to the community block training tomorrow, and I'll cover that more in detail during the discussion items.
Okay.
And with that said, Mr. Mayor, we'll go ahead and move into the information session, and we'll start that.
Mr. Mayor, I have something to say, sir.
Commissioner
Thank you.
Nelson has a comment.
Thank you. Looking over these agenda items, I see there's a lot of redundancy. Item, I believe is items 5, items 3, and item 6. Social media, ethics complaints, and alcohol increase. Alcohol increase, we voted on that back in, I believe, March. And I'm not understanding why we come back again to look at it again. And ethics complaint, we've already been addressed several times with that in the social media platform as well. So I would like to ask that we remove those items.
Okay. All right, we have conversation regarding it. I can open the floor for conversation around it. Commission, I'll start with District 1.
You want to know, do I agree taking it out?
Yes.
Yes, sir, you take it out.
District 2.
Yes, sir.
And District 3.
Thank you, Mayor. No, I do not agree with taking them off.
Okay.
And I also have a comment regarding travel and training schedule.
Okay.
And this is directed to you, Mr. City Manager. I emailed you regarding my travel and training this week, and you didn't make that announcement.
Yeah.
So please,
Okay.
I'll make that announcement so that it is on the record.
Yes, I misspoke. Forgot to mention that. So the mayor and Commissioner Felder will be traveling to the district regional meeting in Atlanta. I think it's on the 8th and the 9th. I think we changed the dates today.
Okay.
And my apologies, I did omit that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, with 3 consenting to take off those 3 items, we can, I'm looking at the attorneys to make sure. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So those 3 items can come off and the remainder will remain, and we can go forward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, the vision and the mission remain the same for the city of Waycross. And Mr. Mayor, we did make some changes to the slide deck as far as the font and some of the material. I got some feedback from citizens watching. Hopefully this will be more aesthetic to them and they can better view what we're talking about during the meetings. Mr. Mayor, the city priorities remain the same. Mr. Mayor, the priorities further explained remain the same. This time we'll move into each priority. Explain, Mr. Mayor, as we've been trying to stay with this new plan, speaking on a priority each week. We started, of course, with the canals and alley. That's going very well at this time. The next priority was the blighted property. We're going to have a follow-up conversation at the next meeting this month about the blighted property. We think we might have a possible solution working with the Tax Commission and the Land Bank. We'll bring that up at the next meeting. Unhoused citizens, Mr. Mayor. Overpasses and bridges. Streets and roads. Morale. And the latest entry, Mr. Mayor, is data driven. We want to talk on this a little bit just to make sure our citizens understand how decisions are made here through the guidance of the commission and through the city. Of course, it's all data driven. We do send out surveys. We do comparative research. We do updates to get feedback, and we do that through our software enhancements. And some of the ways that we've done this is, of course, the robotics program to help us determine the streets. We do work with GDOT. We do benchmarking. Benchmarking mean we test the capabilities of the public works on how much they actually can do in the 8-hour time period, and then we go with that as far as the schedules, our live streams. We kind of bridged on technology, the city app, the city web page, and just through community engagement. And that's how we kind of make a lot of decisions, but it's mostly data driven. So we don't make any decision based off of anything outside of data or statistics. Just to make that clear to those who might be watching. Next, Mr. Mayor, this is the 10-year plan. Mr. Mayor, we added an additional slide because we moved past the first 2 years and people were saying that was redundant. So we changed the slide just a little bit to focus on the midterm right now, which is right now years 2 to 4. And I'll talk a little bit about some of those items within that period. Of course, we're going through a huge overhaul of our IT programs, as mentioned at the last meeting. We're almost complete. I think we're going live this week with some of the new processes, more centered around the code department. So really excited about that. Going to digitalize all of those processes again. So we will meet the goal this year of citizens able to do everything digitally. That was the plan. We are still implementing updated programs and policies, as always. And of course, these performance tracking measures are based on some of the benchmarking that we're now doing. Continuous improvement of standards for the workforce. I've mentioned already about automation's update. We're still working on the future as far as infrastructure, our facilities, transportation, water, and sewer. And we're developing a long-term financial strategy, which we're going to brief at the next meeting. As we talked about during the budget hearings, we're going to start doing a quarterly update to be in line with some of the audit findings. So next meeting will be, if you think about the budget, starting in July through October, that'll be the first quarter of our budget this year. And then the finance director is going to lead that meeting. Of course, maintain the quality delivery of services to our citizens. This is the order presentation, Mr. Mayor, and myself. I'll be followed by the finance purchasing department, and then I'll follow up with the rest of the slides. But I'll pause there for any questions on the new slide deck, as is.
Commissioner, did you have any questions of our city manager? I'll start with District 1.
No, sir.
District 2.
No, sir.
District 3.
Yes, I have a question, Mayor. You mentioned in your presentation regarding data-driven and surveys, how those surveys administered to the public at large in the city of Waycross.
So two main ways. So first, we put it on Facebook. We do a Facebook post on a link to the survey, and those individuals who are signed up for our email distribution list, they get a link as well. And it's also on the app. So it's actually 3 ways that they can do the survey. And those are our 3 primary ways. I don't think we have, did I miss anything? Okay. Those are the 3 primary ways that we send out the surveys.
I have a follow-up question, Mayor.
Right ahead.
What about for those citizens that do not have a Facebook account, email, or know how to use the app? Because we do have, citizens that are the elderly population that do not use any of these modern technological tools. So how do we reach them, but also allow them to still be involved in the process?
So we'll have to go back and look at that. I know most of the citizens that we talk to, most of them do get the email distribution list, and those are more citizens on the more seasoned citizens, I guess. I won't say elderly, seasoned citizens. They are the ones that mainly sign up for the email distribution list, and they get it that way. So it comes to their email, and they all check the email, and they do it that way. But we'll look at other ways, if need be, to get creative. I kind of don't want to move to the paper copy type stuff. I want to stay data. But we'll get with the team and see if there's any other way we can get to those type of citizens.
Thank you.
Any further
Okay, Mr.
questions?
Mayor.
Commissioner.
All right, Mr. Mayor, this time will be followed by Ms. Jackson.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, purchasing has 2 items before you this evening.
The first one is for surplus items. We have several surplus pieces of furniture that are no longer being used because either they're because of the condition of them, or their usefulness is no longer relevant with us. We're asking that we surplus these items so that they can be sold on govdeals.com. There are 50 cushion chairs, 20 wood chairs, 5 bookshelves, 2 desks, 5 small end tables and dressers, and 1 stainless steel sink.
Commissioner, as I come to you, if you are consenting, please say it. I'll repeat that you consented. We'll put it on the docket for tomorrow. So I'll start with District 1.
Yes, sir.
Okay. District 2
Yes, sir.
and District 3
Yes.
and District 5.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you. And Madam Clerk, we can add that all of our commission voted yes to surplus these items. Madam Purchasing Manager.
The next item is our scanning and digital imaging services bid. We put that bid out a couple months ago. We received a total of 11 bids for this project. After reviewing it, we went back and asked them to submit a best and final offer, and all of them responded except 2. And the lowest and best bid came from Peak Performance Pros of Rome, Georgia, at $18,000. We are asking that the commission approve this bid so that we can begin this service.
Very good. And I'll do as I did before, and I'll start with District 1,
Yes, sir.
District 2,
Yes, sir.
District 3,
Yes.
and District 5.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have it again, Madam Clerk. We have all unanimously consented.
All right, Mr. Mayor, next we'll move into our infrastructure update, Mr. Mayor. Right now, phase 2, that's actually going out for bids, but it is still scheduled to be completed by 2026. It's West Street and Quarterman Street. We did do the bid process, and we're now in the design process. The dirt roads are ongoing. You'll see that on the later slide, as well as the water sewer projects. We did have some of the roads that got surface need to get redone as far as the striping, and Charlie is working that. I should get an update on that by tomorrow when I do the city manager's report. And the parks are complete. We did find a few things this past week that need to be updated or corrected. Just some small, some painting misunderstandings and a few other things that's going to be taken care of this week as well. And we are scheduled to have all the parks grand openings on the 17th of October. Mr. Mayor, this is the daily priorities for the week. And for those who are watching, this is already posted on Facebook, as well as our app, as well as through the email distribution list if you want to read this in further detail. This is the daily post that we do to show the citizens where we are at as far as public works, engineering, and our projects. Mr. Mayor, this is the street paving. We're reviewing the bids for Brunel and Scrivens. And the dirt roads, of course, those went out and they're being worked as far as the contract. And again, phase 2 for the water waste treatment facility, those bids actually going out on October 17th. This is the zones for the city. This is the finance report. And again, Mr. Mayor, we'll have a full update at the next meeting to kind of explain mainly to our citizens. Some of them don't understand municipalities a little bit different from like a restaurant, and want to make sure everybody clearly understands that. That way we all can have the same shared understanding, and then we need to have any conversation we can at that point. Next, Mr. Mayor, if you have any questions, we'll move into the Airbnb discussion.
Airbnb.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I have a question, Mayor, before we move forward.
Commissioner Felder has a question.
Regarding the parks in the grand opening, you said October the 17th.
Correct.
What about the times and
Um,
also vendors for the parks?
Yep, I'm gonna cover that at the end. I think it's down it says the parks grand opening, and I'll go over that then, Commissioner, if you want.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor was requesting we put the Airbnb on the agenda. And I'm gonna read a few things, Mr. Mayor, and then open it up for the commission for comments. So, the first bullet you see there is what the Georgia, as far as the state law requires, and I'll read this into record. Georgia imposes a state sales tax of 4% on short-term rentals, stays of 89 nights or less. In addition, there is a hotel motel fee of $5 per night for stays of 30 nights or fewer. Short-term rental platforms like Airbnb, Rebo, in Georgia are required to collect and remit state and local lodging taxes on behalf of the host, if the jurisdiction is one of these places with which the platform has an agreement, which Waycross does. If a marketplace, Airbnb, as example, collects and remits lodging taxes on a host's behalf, the host is not liable to collect those same taxes against. In this situation, the host is going to be the person who owns the property. What Waycross requires, the city of Waycross has a hotel motel tax of 5%. And we also have a form. You have a copy of that form in front of you. It's filled out. Now, that's just an example. That is a form that is filled out by the representatives of the host. So, what do we need in policy? We need to ensure, and this is pretty much already done, that those people operating with Airbnbs register with the city of Waycross to remit excise tax directly from any taxes not automatically remitted by the platform. And of course, ensure the hosts report the rental income for state, federal income tax purposes, even if all the taxes are collected by the platform. So let me just say a few things about these 3 bullets. So upon research, and I thought we had explained this a while back. So once I sign up for Airbnb on those platforms, it's some paper I have to take and turn in to the state to get my taxes collected. And then that platform collects the taxes for us. Right now, and I wasn't able to get the total number of Airbnbs that we have here in the city of Waycross. It ranges between 50 and 60. Pretty much each month, some might go away, some might come on. If you go on to any of those platform sites, it can be confusing because if you type in Waycross, it's going to be like 200 come up. But when it says Waycross, it's capturing Ware County, everybody around us. It's capturing within I think a 60-mile radius. That's how the Airbnb works. So, but once you do that, it does take taxes. It collects all the sales tax, the $5 per night. It does all that, and it gives that to the city automatically. So that is in play already. The problem that we might have, if we have any at all, is if there's a host who is using their house locally as Airbnb and not promoting it through any of the major platforms, we would not know. But at the same time, I don't think that would, like, as far as the business strategy, would not be good for that host because they don't get the luxury of having all the capabilities that come with being on a major platform. So I hope I explained that as best I could. Do you have any questions about the Airbnb? And what I'll do, Mr. Mayor, during my city update tomorrow, I will have the exact number of Airbnbs that we have for the city of Waycross.
Very good.
Okay.
I'll open the floor to the commission to ask any questions they may have. I'm certain they may. I'll start out with District 1.
Good, sir. Thank you.
Okay. District 2.
Oh, no, sir.
Okay. And District 3.
Yes, I have a question. I do think you need to do your research a little further with Airbnbs because there are local cities near us that do have an ordinance for Airbnbs. And presently, there are several property owners that are operating Airbnbs in the city of Waycross, tax-free, and this city is not collecting any revenue from those Airbnb properties. And so I think that you really need to look into that a little deeper because I do believe that this city can collect revenue from that. Thank you.
And District 5.
No, sir.
Okay. And again, we do collect revenue from the identified properties we have, but we'll check on that, Commissioner.
Thank you.
How many it is. With that, Mr. Mayor, we'll move on to the next agenda item. We're gonna skip over social media platform. I call them beer license. And Mr. Mayor, we'll go into the grant update. Now, I got this from the grant team this morning, or yesterday, and I just uploaded it. So these are some of the current grant submission we just kind of submitted. Of course, we have the Governor's Office of Highway Safety and the T-Mobile Hometown Grant. And I'll go into these a little more details. We'll go through the slides. This is where right now with our 4 major grants we're working. Outdoor Stewardship Program. You all aware of that? That is the grant that we're trying to get the park trails created in each of the parks, and with the matching fund being 25% and up to $5 million, depending on what your matching amount is. We discussed matching 150,000 or 100 to 150,000. That would give us back between 600,000 based on that number we decided to take. Right now, we are finalizing the designs of the park. Some of y'all did get your renderings. We ain't got a chance to get all of them. I think we're still working 2 parks. Once that is done, I'll send those parks to those renderings to those commissions so they can kind of see how it's supposed to look. Next is the GDOT Transportation Alternate Program, working that, and that's a grant towards pedestrian crosswalks, bikes, stormwater, and safe routes. We're gonna try to put that in, and actually we're gonna contact the school board because they might get more benefit from this because it's mainly focused around school areas, making those areas safer for children to go to school. But we are working on the requirements for that. And then, of course, the One Georgia Equity Fund, that's the typical loan we do every year for infrastructure, water, and sewer. And then the last one I'm kind of excited about is the tire products grant. And right now we're trying to, it gives you some options of what you got to put in for. It can be a recycling project, it can be a collection project, it can be a disposal project. Now we'll get reimbursed. We have to pay up front, and it will be reimbursed for those costs. Right now, I'm working with the Public Works Director on what their plan should be. Right now, we're looking at maybe a drop-off point for tires, and everybody bring the tires, and we're just trying to figure out how that would look. We already got a amount of tires that we've collected over the last few years that we have been unable to get rid of for a lot of different reasons. But with this extra money, I think it's up to $250,000 for its disposal. So that would get rid of a lot of our tires, pretty much all of them that we have stored right now. So once we determine how that looks, I'll come back to the commission and give 3 choices of action, either be collection or cleanup, or it might be recycling. Recycling means if the EPA allows for that tire to be something like crushed mulch or something like that. We're still researching that because that has changed under the current administration, where it was different this time last year. These are some of the key engagements that happened the previous month, Mr. Mayor, with the grant team. Of course, they came and briefed the City Commission last month on some of the projects, some of the concepts. They did meet with myself and the directors to discuss the tire grant, the equity fund, and the outdoor stewardship program. We did conduct a walkthrough. One of the grants, the T-Mobile grant, you have to definitely have a ready, facilities ready project. And we don't have many, but we did think about the project next door, as far as police moving out, if that could be salvaged with this grant. So we're kind of looking at that. Then they did consult with some of the staff on other types of criteria for that stewardship grant. And then they did a video with us to kind of let us see how it would look if we want to redo this building over here for another purpose. Some of the next steps, Mr. Mayor, of course, we got to submit some of the applications by 15 October. That's mainly the parks grant. And as far as the GDOT Transportation Alternate Grant, like I said, we're still kind of researching that, where it might be better suited for the school, but we'll bring them in this week. Of course, I'm meeting with them once a week to kind of finalize some of the other grants as far as the water and sewer that we do every year, as well as the strategy behind the tire. It says recycling event, but again, we're still trying to determine what makes sense as far as that. And they did update our portal. We're going to create a portal for all the grants, so y'all can kind of get access to that in the near future. And you see the Main Street program. There's some other grants they're looking at doing right now. And I do want to say, since this team has come on the board, they've done a lot of work for us on a short while. That was a great, good idea by the commission and the mayor. I'm hiring them because they really work hard. We actually speak to them pretty much 2 or 3 times a week on anything that comes out. I know some grants came out. I want to say Friday night, 2 new grants came out. So they didn't make the slide chart, but I'll make sure they make the next meeting, Mr. Mayor. And Mr. Mayor, I'll pause there. Do we have any concerns or questions on the grants?
I had a question, and that question was about the tires that you made mention of.
Mhm.
Now, if we're doing that kind of thing and we're choosing a spot or a space for that,
Mhm.
are there hazards that come with tires being gathered together like that?
Well, right now, I think we got 6,000 tires that we've collected on this past year. Just, people throw them in the woods and on the side of the road. So we got 6,000 tires by ourselves as the city. I know it's probably thousands and thousands more, stacked up everywhere. And like I said, we're still trying to develop the concept. I'm not sure if we, like some of the gas stations and other places that have tires too, I'm not sure how that would work, as far as like doing that for them when they probably have to do it on their own. So we're still trying to figure all that out. But the main thing, the first priority would be to get rid of our tires because we got a lot of tires. And if we can reuse them, this is where it comes into a lot of, I got to kind of sit down and think, do we have the bandwidth to do this? Certain tires, depending on how old they are, you can use them for mulch. And the other tires, have to steel and you can't use them for mulch. But just imagine trying to go through 6,000 tires and trying to figure out the dates behind them, and the purchase and all that stuff. It's going to be a lot of work. So really what you want to get rid of all of them, although it would be nice to make all of them be mulched and put them in the parks. But we just got to sit down and kind of see what makes sense.
Thank you for your response.
Mhm.
I'll look to the commission just in case they have questions regarding anything that was presented with the grant. I'll start with District 1.
Yes, sir, thank you. Is it any help that we might get, starting to try to help get the National Guard Armory open?
So that's what we're doing now, Commissioner. So that furniture, there was surplus that's coming out of the armory. I did have the team go over and start cleaning it up. So we've been periodically taking stuff out. The police removed. Some of that equipment's going to stay there until we do something with it. But we've been cleaning it up. We need to do some more inspections. There is a goal of at least in the next 6 months to present that again. But it'll be a clean building, empty building. Maybe perhaps the commission can walk through and look at it differently when it is clean, because it does. When it's clean, it's a whole different atmosphere in there. We do have some citizens who are interested in purchasing it, which I know that's a thin line. But right now, the main focus is to clean it out, get it up to the best standard we can outside of some of the mitigation as far as asbestos and stuff like that, and then take another look at it once it's done.
Thank you, sir.
District 2.
No, sir.
And District 3.
Yes, Mayor. Regarding each of these grants that you presented before the commission, what is the award amount for each grant? And also, do any of these grants have a match? Is a match required?
Yeah, so the stewardship, the parks grant, that's 25% match. That's when we talked about
Excuse me?
taking the stewardship grant.
It's
That's
what?
25% match. That's when we talked about taking the money that we had set aside in the splash for the parks, the $300,000, and we had requested taking some of that as a match. That would increase the overall money for the parks in a way. The transportation, that is not a match. You just have to qualify for that program, I think. Of course, the GFA, that's what we always do,
Excuse me,
GFA.
Mr. City Manager, what is the amount for the GDOT transportation grant?
There's no amount, whatever that project is, so it's not a matching amount.
So
So
you,
whatever project we come up with, if we decide to do a crosswalk in this 15,000, then we'll present that project.
has a project been decided?
No, we're currently just trying to research it right now.
Next.
And then the GFUS, GFUS is what we do pretty much every year. We're looking at projects right now. That's why we're saying working. And again, that's going to be more of a debt type thing. And we're identifying projects right now, but we don't have a project identified. We're just looking right now. And with the tile grants, that's reimbursable again, so we have to pay that up front. So whatever we did, we pay it up front, and they would reimburse us whatever we decided to do with that program.
So what is the average amount that you propose for each of these grants then, since there's not an actual amount that we're pursuing? Are these small grants? Are these medium-sized grants? Are these
So I won't know,
huge
Commissioner.
grants?
I won't know until we have a project. So like until we identify that's why it says working, planning. Until we identify the project, I won't know the actual cost of it. So right now we're working the projects. With the park trails, like I said, I've asked for the 150K because that's a 25% match. So 4 times 150K what we would have, and then that would cover all the parks. So.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Regarding Southern Georgia Regional Commission, I know that they write grants for the city. Have they written any grants for us lately? Are there any grants that they're pursuing for us on behalf of the city?
They have not written any grants lately.
Is there a reason why?
The 2 I tried to work with them on, they didn't have the bandwidth at the time.
So where do we stand as far as moving forward?
They have not written any grants for the city at this time.
There aren't any other grants that they can pursue for the city?
I'm right now, Commissioner. I'm working with these grants that we're working on right now because I don't have a lot of matching money as is. So we're trying to do the bandwidth that we have, and we're paying the company. We're paying the company not just. I guess we can talk about it. I've been here 2.5 years, and they've never really, and not throwing stones at the Southern Region, can do a lot for us, but that never just came off the table. Same thing with GMA. I mean, just they write grants too, but you're talking about one person writing grants for many cities and many counties and many areas versus a team that's focused on just one city, what we're doing right now. So I'm trying to put all my efforts towards this part of the grant writing, where I can actually touch somebody every week.
I do know that they have a team that writes, that pursues these infrastructure grants for the city.
Understood, Commissioner.
Thank you.
And Commissioner, did you have anything?
Mr. Mayor, next we'll move into the parks grand opening. And right now the scheduled times, it's 17 October. We're going to start with District 2. I think it's Elizabeth at 12 p.m. District 3 at 1 p.m. That's Garlington. And then District 4 is going to be at 2 p.m. There's going to be a variety of events going on in each location. There will be select vendors. We're working with the vendors right now as far as coming out there. There will be guest speaking. We did send out invitations to the governor's office and some other requested individuals last week. Mr. Mayor, you'll be speaking at each of these events. We did invite select people. And I guess as an example, as far as District 1, and they say District 4, that's a typo. It should say District 1. I'm sorry, there, Commissioner. As far as District 1, I know that park is being renamed on behalf of 2 of the stewards that first got the park going there. So we're going to invite their families out to that park. And again, like I said, we're going to have vendors out. It's going to be a good time. I want to say that we did invite the youth council as well to come out that day as well. And we're going to have a flyer that goes out. It should be going out probably like this week with all the information on the vendors' information, the times, the dates, and all those things of that nature. So. Next, Mr. Mayor, we're moving to the Community Improvement Codes Department update. Mr. Mayor, I want to do this update. I got some feedback. There was some questions about our codes department. I just want to highlight a quick fact about our codes department, and then we'll move on. So, if anybody didn't know, and you can look this up, the City of Red Cross Code Department is staff trained in one of the rare cities that has certified professionals. So all our codes enforcement personnel are certified, which is a big difference from other cities or counties where they're not certified. So we do professional standards that operate strictly in accordance with state mandated building codes and our city ordinances. So I know some people don't follow the state codes, and that's for them to do or not do. We do follow the codes. Same things as ordinances, and we do not deviate from the standards at all. All our team members hold certifications through the Georgia Associations of Code Enforcement, and of course they're committed to the high standards of compliance and service. And then there, you don't list some of the certifications and expertise that our staff has. I'm going to read this out loud because I think it's important that everybody kind of knows the quality of work that happens there. And then I'll kind of touch on at the end about the codes department. So you see there, Ms. Strickland, 4 years of service. She's level 1 certified. She's currently training to become an inspector, a building inspector. Code Officer 2, Mr. Christopher, he is 6 years. He's also level 1. Ms. Taylor, 7 years, level 2 certification. She's working on her level 3 at this time. And of course, Miss Maria, well, not Miss Maria, I call her Miss Maria, but she's got 16 years of service. She's level 3 certified already, and that's the highest level certification you can have for the state of Georgia. So, again, what we're doing right now with our codes department by modernizing our systems, really soon here, they'll be able to do real, I say face-to-face, explaining codes to citizens, because everything we digitize won't be, let me show you in the book, because it is a huge book. They'll be able to go right there, search engine. Let me show you why this has to be a certain inch or a certain color. And the main thing I want to say, like I say, we could be taking shortcuts, like a lot of people do, a lot of cities do, a lot of counties do, but we here in the city of Waycross, we're safety first, point blank. And I know people don't want to particularly agree with that sometimes because it does cost money sometimes to make sure safety is first. But that's the whole purpose of a codes enforcement organization. So just want to say that. I just want to highlight the team. Mr. Hawkins couldn't be here today because he's going down to the C Block conference, but if he had been here, he would have said the same thing. We are proud of all our code enforcements. They probably get more than anybody else in the city of Waycross, probably the most bad press. But again, they are to the standard. They do not deviate from the standards, regardless of how people might feel about that. So I would ask citizens, if you have a question or concern with any performance of the code department, you can first go through Mr. Hawkins, and then you come see me if you got a concern or question. They do have body cam on. Every concern that's happened since the body cam we put on 60 days ago, I review. So I will say that. So they have the cameras on at all times. They are recording the interaction with citizens. That way, if you do have a complaint, when it comes back, we can both review the body cam together right there on the spot. And again, we got a great team, a very great team. And Mr. Mayor, Paul, there for any comments about our codes department.
Commissioner, do you have any questions of Mr. Rayford? I'll start at District 1.
I'm good. I'm gonna let it go, sir. I'm good.
Yes, sir. District 2,
Yes, sir.
No.
District 3, and District 5.
No, sir.
And one more final point, Mr. Mayor, because I see Commissioner. Let me say this. So again, this is not. If we have an issue, I would just ask anybody address the regulation. If you got an issue, address the policy. If you have a complaint with something going on, address the findings. We should not be getting personal with our code people just trying to do their job out there, because all they're trying to do is do their job. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Next, we move into the CBDG grant update. I'm going to read this up for a while, Mr. Mayor, so those who want to be watching can read it, and I'll read some of this. So the CDBG program provides federal funding to help cities improve neighborhoods and enhance quality of life for residents, especially those with low or moderate incomes. The program is administered by the Georgia Department of Community Affairs and funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development through the CDBG funding. The city of Waycross can undertake projects that strengthen neighborhoods and support long-term community growth. Typical projects include housing rehabilitations for income-eligible residents, street and drainage improvements, water and sewer upgrades, and public facility enhancements such as parks or community centers improvements. These investments not only improve living conditions but also promote neighborhood stability, and local economic development, ensuring that Wake Cross remains a safe, accessible, and vibrant community for all residents. I put there is a link to the program itself on their website for those citizens who want to go, because it's a lot of information on the website if you're interested. Mr. Mayor, as I mentioned earlier, they have the DCA is hosting the Community Development Block Grant Summit in Macon, Georgia, starting today actually. And by attending, cities get 10 points towards the total evaluation score for being there. So what that means is, if we have a project, we'll get extra 10 points in it, which is a lot, because we're competing with a lot of other cities sometimes for this funding. So that's great. And again, Mr. Hawkins is down there right now attending that summit. Of course, the summit will cover everything you know about how to apply for the funding. And if citizens, if you're watching, you can go on the website, and it's not a citizen. It says Citizen Portal. You can hit that portal, and you can get information too on how to apply for the funding outside of going through the city if need be. But topics to be discussed include application and the implementation process, eligibility activities, objectives, public hearing, award times. Basically, just ensure that everybody is following the program or adhering to the program standards as is. And then the state of Georgia typically has awarded an estimated $40 million. I think it's a little bit higher this year because we have some funding left over from last year for these projects. It's an annual competition. It's a bid process, depending on the funding available. Now, this actually starts, the block grant opens up in April of every year. So right now, we're working with our engineers to get us a few projects like we did previous year. Will be a mix of some home improvements for some citizens, and then some water and sewer projects. We'll bring it to the commission as we always do for consideration. And I'll pause to have a question on the block grant, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner, if you have any questions, please let me know. No?
Yes.
District 3?
Thank you, Mayor. Regarding the CBDG grant, and if it is awarded to the city, how will the contractor be selected? Because I don't think that was clearly defined the last time we received CBDG funds. There were several citizens who were awarded CBDG funds, but were very dissatisfied with the outcome of the renovations or building of their homes. So how are we going to move forward without repeating what has previously happened with CBDG funds?
Yeah. So that'll be another question we had with DCA about who the contractors are. And of course, we, as Commissioner aware, we did kind of stress the last contractor that was assigned to Waycross. And let me say this too: one of the main problems, we got to level expectations as well on what can actually be done. That's one thing we got to make sure as we communicate this program moving forward, actually what can be done, as far as especially we talking about rehabilitating a home and what comes with that. But I would definitely, I try to stay abreast of the contractors moving forward. Mr. Hawkins is going to be more involved this year. The last time, and I was not here in the city of Waycross at the time. Some inspections should have been done on behalf of the city, so that will definitely happen this time, just as another forcing mechanism to make sure people are doing the right things as far as the builders. I'm not sure what happened those previous years, but this time we're definitely better posture to understand what we got to do as far as the city to make sure that our citizens are taken care of.
Thank you.
That was a great question.
Okay.
We really need to know when someone is working on something in our community, specifically how they're going to be doing things. There are two people that came to mind, Commissioner Nunn with DCA and also Ms. Thornton with DCA. And I know we can use them as consultants. We can actually call them if we have need of a particular list, because I know they use particular ones, but we in the community, I don't know, we have a list of people, and that's what she was making reference to.
Yeah, we do, Mr. Mayor. I think typically that block grant, when we talk about housing, that could be up to 5 years, in between that time frame from start to finish. I think, we had COVID. That was a big issue there when these homes that Commissioner Felder is mentioning, that happened, and we got behind. And then just inflation. I mean, it was off the roof from when these citizens first put in or received the grant, until it actually became factual, and then that just kind of cut down all the material. So it's one of those things. And I say this is where we got to be better involved and better communicate to the citizens about the process, so they fully understand and provide oversight. Like I say, Mr. Hawkins' team definitely knows now. I think it was some question when they could step in because the contractor going to have their own people to do certain things. But I think now that we've talked to DCA, I think we got a clear understanding that it's got to be a proper handshake on any other business that comes down as far as the block grant. Mr. Mayor, we was asked to put industry growth.
Commissioner has another question for you.
Yes, thank you. So with the previous CBDG contractor that worked on these homes, does the city not have a copy of the contract that was signed?
We do, Commissioner, but again, that grant only covers, I might want to say the bare minimum, but everything is outlined in the materials. Will we like better materials? Yes, but everything was done legally, as far as some of the selection, as far as the flooring, some of the roofing, and some other things. My issue is that when they did, let me think of a good example, the ramp for the house that needed a ramp because they had needed wheelchair access. That was not done in accordance to ADA standards, stuff like that. That's what we have to get on top of that. It's going to be kind of hard to make them change their materials. That's why I said we gotta make sure that citizens understand, like, you're not going to get the top of the line marble. I'm just using it as an example, as far as materials. And then again, we just got to stay abreast with what's going on as far as the timelines and when inspections get done. One of the other setbacks these previous years was some of the inspections didn't get done in time. And that's adding on a whole year in some cases to what should have happened. So again, I think it might have been our first time dealing with the block grant in such that way. And again, we're coming out of COVID, or we in COVID, coming out of COVID. So there were a lot of factors there. But we have done an inventory on our side, and I feel more comfortable this year, like being involved with the process. We sat down with DCA, we sit down with HUD, so I think we're in a better space moving forward.
Any further questions, Commissioner?
No, just a comment,
Okay,
Mayor.
we're good.
I think that for the citizens that do qualify for the CBDG grant, it's not so much about receiving the most expensive material to build. What they're looking for is quality and durability, something that is going to sustain and last.
Agreed.
Thank you.
In District 5. Yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We were asked to put industry growth on the agenda, and although I can't go into certain specifics about certain industries, I try to paint the picture best I can about the last 3 years here in the city. Of course, I'm gonna read this. Waycross continues to experience steady industry and commercial growth, reflecting the city's commitment to progress and partnership. This is reflected over the past 3 years. The City Commission has worked closely with key stakeholders, industrial partners to attract new business and support local expansion. The results speak for themselves. I'll go that when I talk about the chart here. The number of new business licenses issued has increased each year, showing strong confidence in the Waycross market. The growth has led to new construction, business additions, commercial remodels throughout the community, creating jobs and strengthening our local economy. Waycross is growing. It is growing, and we're open for business. So a few things about the chart. I don't know if y'all can see from your seats back there. Over the last 3 years, and this is more in tune with the business license overall. So in 2003, we had 98 new businesses, and then some that it might be a little skewed because in some of those cases we did not have people not paying their business taxes, so we didn't know there was a business. So some of those numbers are in these numbers, if that makes sense. So it's a mix of new businesses, like factual new businesses, and old businesses finally paying for their business taxes. Okay. 2024 we had 97, and year to date right now we have 61 new businesses. And that figure is real as far as these are legit new businesses. And I won't name any because I don't want to miss anyone, but I will point out downtown as an example. when I arrived here, you only had 2 places to eat down there. I can't say names, anything like that. And now you have 10, I think now 10 restaurants. So that is showing a growing community. And I think those new restaurants will be here to stay. As you know, Mr. Mayor, you eat there, walk around, talk to them every day as I do. I'm excited about that. Down Main Street or Memorial, now it's a lot of restaurants, but that shows that does depict. They have a modeling a business practice for restaurants, especially major chain restaurants to come here. They come here for a reason. We also have some hotels, other hotels coming. Hotels come here for a reason. So great growth. Do we have any major industry? We have that in the works right now, but these are all support industries that's coming in. And like I said, I'm excited because you can see it ticking up, especially coming out of COVID as we get better. Because of these new businesses, and I just want to put some facts out. And this money is just kind of looking at the totality of building new buildings or renovation and all that. And 2023, that was a major year, over $20 million. If you put everything together, as far as additions and new buildings and jobs and all those things. 2024 that was our biggest year to date. We had $70 million, and that's again highlighting new construction. So when I say businesses, we also talking about manufacturing, like stuff getting built. Some of the apartments coming into play right now. And current to date right now, we're around about $9 million. But again, that number is probably more factual because we're really talking about the new businesses that's coming in or scheduled to come in. So I want to kind of point that out, Mr. Mayor. Do we have any questions so far?
District 1, did you have any questions?
No, sir.
District 2
No, sir.
and District 3.
Yes.
District 3 has questions.
Mr. City Manager, this is my question is directed to you. I noticed that there was a comment made about a business. I guess that was planning or had a desire to come to Waycross. But you put some statistics out there as to what contributes to or not a business planting their feet here in our city. So my question is, how close do we as a city, work with our development authority with these businesses coming to town?
Okay.
And
So-
is that the city's role?
I think it's everybody's role for economic development. It is the city's role because ultimately we'll be responsible for, how the business is successful or not. And that was, those stats are there on the website, so I didn't make anything up. My goal was, because as the city manager, I do have to answer the questions from citizens. I'm representations of the city of Waycross, so when they have questions, I try to ask them. And I can talk about that business because they're not here. So that is the great state debate question. And I simply stated that anybody can go on their website and hit submit, and you can see the requirements they have for a location. I did not talk to the business owner, although we know who the business owners are, what the group is. So I did discuss that with the citizens so they can have a better understanding about us being more pinpointed as far as focus. So I mentioned restaurants. We have 4 franchises here that sell steak. We have another 13 mom and pop shops that sell steak. As a business model, that franchise, it makes no sense for them to come here. Not being negative, but again, level expectation to the city so they understand how this works. And I only respond because they saying the city was preventing it, and the city is not preventing it. We promoting our livelihood here every day, but we do want citizens to understand how the processes work. That way, there's no misinformation out there. Also, on the website, it stated that if they already have one of their organizations here, you're not going to put another one in the same place, i.e. Olive Garden is one of their establishments. So that's actually on the website. So this is like not a conversation that behind closed doors. Anybody can go on the website and get that same information. I just put it there so they all can see it, because a lot of them was misinformed what was going on as far as that particular restaurant. So, and again, I do think it's important that we all promote the city of Waycross. I do think it's important that we all, talk about the growth of Waycross, and we talk about the wants and needs and desires of Waycross, and then we explain as best we can to our citizens so they don't just, continue to ramble about something, because now I think they understand. Let's focus on something else. I did talk about charging stations. Might be a better solution to getting a business here. We are Waycross. We have a lot of highways. So some of that other discussion in that little chain. Our trucks coming here, they got new technology with the big rig trucks. There will soon be have electrical motors as well coming through here. We got a lot of trucks come through here, so this would be a great location to have charging station. That was the conversation. So versus us talk about the industry that might not come here, maybe not industry, a restaurant. Let's talk about stuff that we should want to come here, that could come here. And again, the conversation is, let's be positive. But these are the reasons. And I'll pause there for any more questions on industry growth.
Yes, I have a follow-up question to that.
Mhm.
Are there any other potential industries that are eyeing Waycross that you're
Well,
aware of?
I am Commissioner, but like, as you know, we can't speak on.
I didn't
uh,
ask for a name. I just asked, were
yes.
there any? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And even with that, if anybody can come up to City Hall and we can sit down with them, we can show them certain things they want to see. So we do have some things as, far as the permits and plan permits. Anybody is welcome. It is for you, open record request. So they can make that request if they want to actually see that stuff. Any other questions, Mr. Mayor?
No, I was just thinking through, because we're part of the economic development, so when we have meetings, we don't even use the name of the buildings or the places when we have our conversations.
Oh.
It's always different from
Yeah.
what the actual name is. But just going through this process of industry growth in the city of Waycross, one of the concerns that I hear from our commissioner is, are we working in tandem with our economic development chairperson, our president?
Mhm.
So that was the concern I think she had at the moment, and I think you answered the question.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, next we move to, there was a question on the credit card policy, and this has to be put on the agenda, and I put it on the agenda, and we'll discuss it brief. This is the credit card policy, I'm gonna read this, for those who might not can't see it. So elected officials and employees sign a city credit card responsible for safeguarding the card, properly using the card, and submission of any receipts and appropriate backup of purchases. Department heads and elected officials are responsible for ensuring their department employees understand the proper use of the city credit card as outlined in this policy. Utilization of the credit card for personal use or any item or service not directly related to the elected officials' public duty may result in disciplinary action, including but not limited to, of course, revocation of the card privileges, misdemeanor prosecution. Any appropriate use of the city credit card by authorized city employees may result in disciplinary action up to and including termination of employment. That's actually in our administrative policy. So I was asked about what changes have we made since it was identified that we had credit card issues, and we made these changes, several changes, but I wanted to focus on these main ones. So of course, the city's credit card policy was revised to strengthen accountability and ensure consistent application across all levels of city government. The following changes were made. So we did create the universal agreement requirement. So everybody had to go sign. What we found out, everybody had not signed that requirement on use of the credit card. All city employees, executive staff, members of the governing body are now required to sign the credit card use agreement, which everybody has, acknowledging receipt and understanding of the policy. Provided update to the commissions on the per diem rates calculation. That was an issue as well with our spending. That was chaired by the finance director who has walked out. And then we implemented a requirement for commissioners to submit all receipts upon return from training. There was a finding in the audits, which we kind of fixed that as well. So my rationale for the policy changes, again, we were not turning in the required training and traveling receipts, which made it hard to account for some of the funding. What we found out was the actual personnel that do this, they just wait for the credit card itself to come in, the charges, and when that happens, it is not reflective of what actually when the charges were made. It could take up to 14 days for a charge to come in, that which was an audit finding, and that's why they encouraged us to make sure we did our entries as soon as possible. That's why we asked everybody, as soon as you come back from your training and traveling, to bring your receipts in as soon as possible. Just consistency as well as on the handbook, as currently written, did not outline credit card accountability for all members of the governing body, which led to inconsistent reporting and compliance. Once again, an audit finding. So we did clean that up. And then transparency. We just want to make sure that everybody who had access to a credit card would just fall in the room in the same standards that we expected of everybody, from the highest to the top to the lowest, to the bottom. I think we made great strides with these changes. There are a few things we still need to do. We're looking at doing as far as the P card and a few other things just to make sure everybody's following the policy. Definitely as part of the newcomers orientation, I mentioned that as well when I talked to new employees about not just the credit card use, but the fuel use as well. We have fuel cards and things of that nature. So I was asked to put this, a question about this. I just wanted to make sure everybody understood the things we have done over the definitely we started in January, this past January, making these changes so that we don't go back down that road again about credit card mismanagement. And I'll pause there, Mr. Mayor, for any questions.
I have a couple of questions. One question I had regarding credit cards. I don't use mine, but I use my own personal card to purchase things. And my question was about reimbursements, because I was instructed when I came back, which was I didn't ask for a reimbursement, but what I was asking about was, say for instance, if I pay for all of there's something I pay for. So I pay for everything. And then I come back and it didn't just cover me. It covers everybody on staff. It means you, attorneys, all commission, clerk, everyone. So when I take care of something of that sort, and I came back and I think I spoke to the director regarding it, I said, so this time I sent a note over to them. I said, rather than I take care of it each time, which I've done for a while, I said, I'll just give this to you, so you need to sign up, because I think even you were taken care of on that particular one as well. Yeah. So what we're trying to do is make sure that even when we're using the city's card or personal cards, that the access for, I'm just kind of concerned that we know the limitations. Like for instance, how much is on the card for us to use? Or if there's a better route, like for instance, rather to write a check to the individual to go on that particular trip, that check then in turn becomes that thing, and then you turn in the receipts at the end. I'm just wondering what would be a better route if credit cards seem to be a problem. So
that's a unique situation. Any memberships, anything like that, Mr. Mayor, I would just say, moving forward, do not use a personal credit card.
I'm not.
Okay, yeah, so we'll all use a credit card provided. And then as far as, I didn't cover that here as far as some of the changes, but like per diem, and we can still do stuff. You can collect your whole per diem via check, stuff like that. I'm mainly focused here on the credit card use or misconduct use that was brought upon my, it came up in several meetings. So what I will, and to the staff and to the governing body, everybody needs to use the credit card you've been assigned to for the purposes outlined in the credit card policy. If you have any questions, direct yourself to the finance director. He answer those questions, or the purchasing, Ms. Jackson answer those questions as well. If you can't get those two, I can answer the questions. But definitely, that's why we did the user agreement sign up. Definitely only use the credit card for its intended purposes. And those memberships requirements that the city might have, we're going through all that right now, because I'm going to pull all that back. And that might not be like a payment where you got to pay somebody every 6 months to stay certified as a city. We're going to look at redoing that as well, but we're working that.
Okay. And that was just a concern, because I do know somewhere along the way, because we've changed finance directors, we've changed city managers, we've changed, and so they sent it to a person whose name is on the list.
Oh, yeah.
And because there was no one to at that time talk to, we just went ahead and did it. But my concern for any person who is in the position of taking care of, because it's not in our budgets. I don't see GMA, I don't see NLC, I don't see those listed in the budget for us to pay out. So that was just the concern I had. And it has nothing to do with anything besides just saying we need to know what their policy is as well.
Okay, thanks, Mayor.
But that's all I had. And I'll open the floor for just in case the commission has any questions. And so I start with District 1. District 2?
No, sir.
Okay. District 3.
I have a question, but I'll get with the finance director.
Okay.
Thank you.
And District
Yes. The policy, credit card policy, was changed. What year was that?
So, I don't have the exact date, Commissioner, that's time you were not in, you were not in the office, I mean, we changed it, so,
So I'm going down the road here.
okay.
So when I traveled to Atlanta back in January 2024,
Okay.
and to be specific, I dined, and my wife and I dined, and I included her on my bill. That was common back before this change.
Yeah, in the previous handbook, correct. But then
Yes,
yeah.
yes, because I served with Commissioner Hopkins. She and I traveled several times together, and her spouse ate with mine as well. Commissioner Simmons, Etheridge, and Burse, all of us. So when I did that in January, it was before the change. And now it's been made to seem like I was lied on the oath or misrepresented myself previously.
No.
So I wanted
no.
to make that known.
Correct. Correct. We made those changes on recommendations. I got with the staff and departments about some of the conflicting verbiage in there, and it took us some years to get that handbook approved. Now, what I'm doing now, I am reviewing all our documents again because I want to make sure that everything lines up as should be. Because some of the recommended charter changes, once we go down that road, are gonna be a forcing function to change most stuff in the handbook. But I'll wait till we had that discussion with the charter.
That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, the last thing on here is the Christmas light purchase, and we did get 3 bids for this, but I just want to make a special request on that. So with the Christmas lights, you all recall the feedback. I'm gonna call it positive feedback we got from the citizens about the Christmas lights, and I had a little time to respond to that, and I did. We did get some additional lights, and it was a decent price. And right now, trying to get ahead of that because we were unable to get all the lights that we needed. So we would like to purchase the rest of the lights, but we want to keep it with the same company because we don't have 3 sets of lights out. They have to get, if something happens, we got to call 3 different people. I spoke to the purchasing director. I have her come here and speak on it for a little bit. But I want to make this purchase because it is a comparable price. It is the same company. They are on sale, not sale, but they are cost efficient right now. They won't be in a few weeks because you move close towards the holidays. But I'm gonna pause there and let Ms. Jackson speak on that for a little bit, just explain to them about the purchase of the lights.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioner, with the Christmas lights, what we purchased last year, and versus what we want to purchase this year is over our threshold for where we would technically have to bid it out. And usually our rule is, if it is over 10,000, it has to either be bid out unless it is a sole source or it has been declared an emergency. Most times if it's declared an emergency, it's usually associated with infrastructure. We're asking that we make this purchase without a bid because we've purchased these particular lights. They're a particular style. They have particular parts. They have particular bulbs. And we don't want to go out and purchase another set of lights for continuity's sake. When you're going through the city, you have this section of lights and this type of lights and this type of lights. And the other thing is we would like to continue to purchase from this vendor for continuity's sake. If something should come up with a warranty, if something should come up with a repair, or something as simple as a light bulb change. It may be a specific light bulb. So we want to continue to purchase from this vendor. I reached out to my purchasing community about this question because I haven't necessarily had it before. And the information that I got back was we can also use this vendor and call it a sole source because it is a particular item that we're trying to get for continuity's sake.
So what is the ask that we are getting here? Are we going to say we want to go ahead and allow for this to be the sole?
The sole source for the Christmas lights.
Okay.
Because it is over that threshold that we would usually have to bid it out for. But because of continuity's sake and because of what it is, we want to keep it the same. You don't want to have 5 or 6 different kinds of lights or different systems going on, when you could have that one system and go back to that one vendor for repairs or warranties or replacements.
And Ms. Smith, if I can, so we did budget, in this previous budget, we budgeted $40K for the lights. That was an estimated cost. And even when I did that, I was just thinking we only get half the lights that we needed, because I think we need, is it 48 lights? I'm not sure the total number of lights that we need to completely change the lights out. But we all recognize how important this is to the citizens of Waycross. Definitely the Christmas. So I want to make sure we go ahead and move as fast as we can, because the price is going up pretty much every day. So we did put it in the budget for it. As Ms. Jackson explained, it will be sole source. And tonight I will be asking, we can bring it back to the commission for approval on the, I guess, can we add that tomorrow to the agenda, I guess? The actual cost, we can add it to the agenda tomorrow, and I'll actually have the purchase prices for you. I know it's $38,000, but I'll definitely have the actual markup for you so you can see what we're getting. And again, I'm not sure if y'all remember the type of lights that we got last year. They were the LED lights. They'll last longer. These are actually bigger than we're getting right now. They're bigger than the ones that we got last year, so that's an added plus. I want to say it is 6 feet versus the 4 feet. So just want to go ahead and get on top of that while the funding makes sense.
So I'll go to each commissioner just to get consent to put it on the agenda tomorrow, and they can vote up, down, however they choose tomorrow. Okay. Starting with District 1, District 1. Okay, on the agenda. District 2,
Yes, sir.
District 3,
Yes.
and District 5
Yes, sir.
on the agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, Mr. Mayor, we have no privilege license renewals, no privilege licenses. I don't think we're going to have any ordinances. We have one resolution tomorrow at this time, and I will turn it over to the city attorney for her report if she has one today.
Thank you, City Manager. Mr. Mayor, as you know, last week we had the hearing before Judge Brooks in Superior Court. Judge Brooks was going to give a ruling as of today. We've been checking since this morning, hour on the hour, and as of 6:17, we have yet to receive his ruling as of yet. But as soon as we have it, we will make sure we provide it to the commission. And that's the only thing we have that's going on right now.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Mr. Mayor, my report was embedded in the presentation, and tomorrow I'll provide a updated daily report for the citizens. We have no executive session at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Well, with that being said, we'll move into our last call, and I'll start with District 1.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Everyone have a good night. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. District 2.
Thank you, Mayor. Free to the community. K-Way Street Festival will be Saturday, November the 1st at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Was that loud? Oh, 3 to 5 p.m. And they will have candy, food, games, cotton candy, bounce houses, candy apples, cupcake walk, face painting, music, and hay rides. And this will be at 800 Block Kennedy Sanders Way. Thank everybody for coming out. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. District 3.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate everyone for coming out tonight. And I also have a special closing that I'd like to share with the citizens of Waycross, for those of you who are not aware. And in this closing, I would like to remind the city of the servicemen who lost their lives on this day in Waycross in 1948. Today's memorial, the 1948 Waycross B-29 crash, occurred on the 6th of October 1948 when an engine fire contributed to the crash of a Boeing B-29-100 BW Super Fortress bomber in Waycross, Georgia. The plane was from the 3150th Electronic Squadron, United States Air Force, and had tail number 45-21866. The crash occurred during a climb to an altitude from the Robins Air Force Base and killed 9 of 13 men aboard, including 3 RCA engineers. 4 men parachuted to safety. Because the flight was a test of the Sunseeker, a heat-seeking device later used in the AIM-9 Sidewinder missile, the federal government asserted the state's secret privilege to avoid having to provide the Air Force's accident report in a subsequent suit for damages by victims of the crash and their heirs, despite the device playing no role in the crash itself and not being. Again, this is in remembrance of those that gave their lives on this day in Waycross in 1948. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. And District 5.
Nothing, sir.
To everyone who's present tonight, do want to thank each one of our staff members, and specifically the commission tonight. Thank you for being present. To each one of our citizens, we do want to say be encouraged as we go forward into the remainder of the year. And you are reminded that the parks will be opening on October the 17th. So we look forward to having those grand openings, and we look forward to seeing you there. With that being said, I entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries, and this meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.